Okay, so we're on YouTube. Yay. I wasn't sure how this was going to work out today, so I'm so glad that you guys are here. My name is Jennifer Priest, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 foolproof methods for finding keywords on Pinterest. Now, this is something that we all know that we have to do, yet sometimes it's unclear what should we do. Are there tools that we need to use? How do you do it? How do we know, if the keywords are the right keywords? So I'm going to be breaking that all down for you today on this live video. So I'm so glad that you guys are here. Now, I've been using Pinterest for quite a few years, using it for my marketing, and I want to share a little story with you, and then I'm going to get right into the content because this illustrates what we're talking about. So when I first started working with brands as a blogger, I absolutely felt so deep in my chest that I had to improve my video quality. And I was using a tripod and tilting it, and the tilt of my tripod made it look like my food and crafts were like slowly sliding off the table. And so I definitely needed to try something different. And I'd heard about this method of making overhead videos called Tasty Style, where the camera is shooting straight down. And it was named after the Tasty website that had, like, they called them hands and pans videos, where it looked like a pan and then there were hands there cooking, right? Very cool. And on professional video shoots, I'd seen chrome stands that had this horizontal bar that the camera was mounted on, and it was shooting straight down. And so I was trying to find this online. I was looking on Pinterest, I was looking on Google. I typed in overhead shooting rig, Tasty video gear, camera holding bar with a floor stand, and I did not get any results that I wanted. And if you've ever experienced this, you know how frustrating it is, isn't it? So I was thinking maybe I'm dreaming that I'd even seen this thing before. Maybe it was a magical unicorn that that no one had yet invented. So to best help our audience find what we offer, we have to use their words in our content. We have to use their words. And the words that they use are different on Pinterest than they use on Google. So you might already be aware of Google SEO. You might already be doing that for your sites. You might already be doing that for your content. And what we need to do on Pinterest is something a little bit different. So I'm going to give you all the information and steps you need to find keywords on Pinterest successfully in this video. I'm doing screen shares. I'm giving you like the whole enchilada. So first, let's start with some basic definitions so that we're all on the same page, because some of you are coming in and you've never used Pinterest before, and some of you are old school pinners. And I want to make sure that we're all straight on the lingo. So the first thing is, pins are posts on Pinterest, right? They contain an image or a video and a link to your website. Destination content is the content that you're sending people to. Okay, the content at your blog post or whatever you've linked to. Destination URL is the link you were putting on the pin. Your Pinterest boards, they're like the shelves where all your pins are collected and organized on Pinterest. Your account is the overall account where all your boards are on Pinterest. And a pinner is a person who uses Pinterest. And that's actually Pinterest's name for their users, is a pinner. So first, let's talk about, why are keywords even important on Pinterest? So keywords are how pinners, users, find our content and get to our site from Pinterest. That's how we get that traffic coming over, right? It's so important for us to get traffic coming over, and this is how it happens. Now, the process of identifying those keywords and phrases that people are using to find the ideas, and then including those keywords and phrases in our content, is called search engine optimization, or SEO. So you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, you got to be doing Pinterest SEO. Well, that's because it's optimizing the pin, optimizing the content, including those keywords, so that people can find the content on Pinterest. Okay. And keywords are the cornerstone to generating free Pinterest traffic. The people that are paying for ads are probably just not very good at SEO because you can get a ton of traffic for free. But the first step in Pinterest SEO is first identifying the keywords, right? Then you'll put them on your content. And that's what this entire video is about, is how to find the keywords. So we also need to know how Pinterest works to understand why keywords are even important. So Pinterest displays or surfaces pins in 3 different places: the search results, the home feed, and more to explore, or more like this. So I'm going to share my screen so that, well, if I can find where Zoom is, I'm going to share my screen so that I can show you guys. And just so you know, I have a couple different screens. I have my laptop here and I have another screen over here. So I'm going to go ahead and share that screen. And here I am on Pinterest. This is the Pinterest home feed. Let's go back to normal 100%. Pinterest home feed. This is where people find things just scrolling. The other place that people find things on Pinterest is by using the search function. Okay, so we can type up in here to find things under search. And then the third place, the third surface where people can discover new ideas on Pinterest is by clicking a pin and scrolling down. You see this area called More to Explore. Sometimes it's called More Like This. And these are the three places that we can find and discover pins on Pinterest. Now, pins displayed in the search results, right, are showed when pins have labels that match that keyword. So if I typed in banana bread into the search bar, then I would have that as I would have results that said banana bread, right? And so those pins are shown based on how well they match the keyword that somebody typed into the search bar. The pins in the home feed are shown based on how well they match the keywords associated with the pinner's past interests and engagement. And the More to Explore pins that are shown in there are displayed on how well those pins match the keywords on the main pin that they showed up underneath. And so the accurate labeling is key. It ensures that the pins are surfacing appropriately and accurately everywhere across Pinterest. The better the labeling, the better the performance. And the labels come from the keywords. So for example, a pinner might search for online business ideas. The pins, boards, and accounts using the keyword online business ideas or other related keywords are going to surface on Pinterest in those searches. Pins without those labels or keywords won't even appear, even if the content at your blog post or the destination URL is amazing. If you are not using keywords, it's going to be really hard for Pinterest to get the labeling right. Okay. So why do some people skip keyword research on Pinterest? Well, it's really easy because it takes time, right? There are no tools to really speed up the process of Pinterest keyword research. Some SEO tools offer like Pinterest SEO or Pinterest keyword research, but in my experience, they don't really work very well. So Key Search uses the same process for keyword research that's already available for free on Pinterest that I'm going to show you here. And when I tried their tool, it didn't work. So it doesn't mean their tool doesn't work. It just means when I tried it, it did not work for me. Keywords Everywhere is a browser extension and it displays over top of Pinterest. And it only is overlaying Google search data on your Pinterest searches, not Pinterest data. So that can be a little misleading because people think, oh, it's working on Pinterest. Well, it's not. It's showing you Google data for those keywords on Pinterest. So the other reason that people don't use or don't do keyword research on Pinterest is because they treat Pinterest like social media rather than a search engine. And so what they do is they leave the keyword research to the end after the article is published. Well, at this point, right, most bloggers or content creators are ready to move on, right? They have seen that blog post enough. They're ready to hit publish and move on. So they don't want to invest in creating high performing pins. And some marketers just focus on the pin graphic or image more than the words. Now, Pinterest uses AI and machine learning to read the graphic to determine the content. However, that's only one of many signals that Pinterest uses to create that accurate labeling. So you're missing out on a ton of opportunities to really give Pinterest that proper information, that really accurate information, so that it can just nail those labels absolutely perfectly. If you're only focused on the image, you're missing out. So skipping keyword research, I believe, is the worst mistake on Pinterest because keywords directly impact pin performance. And here's how. Pin performance is directly tied to the accuracy of keywords and thoroughness of SEO on your destination content, pins, boards, and your account on Pinterest. Using keywords on everywhere in Pinterest, right? Your account, your boards, and your pins, it allows Pinterest to better understand what those items contain. And then refer pinners who are interested in that content to your pins in your site. Pinterest maps interests to keyword information in order to assign labels to the pins, the boards, and the accounts. To ensure Pinterest has the most accurate information to determine the label, you can be very intentionally with using your keywords on the pins themselves, on the boards you're storing the pins on your account, and in your destination content to help Pinterest best understand the topic. This process of intentionally labeling pins, boards, etc., is called SEO, right? Optimization. And so when I say optimization, this is always what I mean. And when I started optimizing my pins and boards for the keywords that describe the content of the boards and pins, my Pinterest traffic soared, growing 1,800% in 6 months. And I have continued growing. I have continued getting traffic from Pinterest using the same process. So what's the difference between Google keyword research and Pinterest keywords? So every time that I post about this in a Facebook group, I get a fiery response when I ask Google or Pinterest. Some people say just Google, some people say just Pinterest, most people say both. I will say both. However, you don't want to use the same exact keywords from Google tools or Google-based research on Pinterest. While that may save time, pinners search differently on Pinterest. When pinners are on Pinterest, they're starting their search for solutions. And 97% of top searches on Pinterest are unbranded. They're looking to discover new things they've never heard of before. Now, Google searchers typically make lots of queries about specific brands. And so, for example, based on Google keyword research, and people also just search differently on both platforms. So I have a post about making a gravel patio in a weekend. And according to my Google keyword research, I should be focusing on keywords about gravel patios. Now, when I was doing my research on Pinterest, I discovered brand new keyword combinations that didn't even show up in Google. Now, because I've used both those Pinterest keywords and Google keywords on my pins and in my content, it's creating a more robust, better experience for everybody. Because now the pinner who's coming to my content from Pinterest is getting more information. The person coming from Google looking just for gravel patio ideas is actually finding out all kinds of information that I've included because of Pinterest, such as weed underlayment and best weed barrier and non-plastic gravel underlayment and gravel pit with fire or gravel patio with fire pit. Those are all keywords that came from my Pinterest research. So do both Google and Pinterest SEO. Use the keywords from Google as a jumping off point to start your Pinterest keyword research. Like I did with gravel patio, I put that into Pinterest and then I got a bunch of more new information and new keyword combinations to try out. So here are the 5 free and easy ways to find Pinterest keywords. Number 1 is search bar autocomplete. Number 2 is keyword bubbles. Number 3 is related searches. Number 4 is using a Chrome incognito window for your pins. And the other one, number 5, is using a Chrome incognito window on top pins, like from your competitors. So all of these are absolutely free and accessible on Pinterest, with the exception of numbers 4 and 5. Those require the Chrome browser with the Chrome incognito window. And I'm going to show you now how to do all of these. Okay. So Pinterest search bar, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Screen 1 or screen 2. We're on screen 2. Okay, so Pinterest, I'm on Pinterest. And I've got my search bar here. I'm in the home area, home feed. And oh, actually, I was on a specific pin. Let's go back to Pinterest and let's go to home feed. And up here in the search bar, I can type something. So as soon as I type something in the search bar, like let's say banana bread, whoops, banana bread, I get all of these different keyword combinations that are suggested, as well as other accounts to follow. Right, so keyword research all starts with a seed word or phrase. So I'm going to start with banana bread, which is what I would be writing about in this case. So I'm going to type that into the search bar, and then I'm going to get all these drop down or autocomplete keyword suggestions. This is the first place to gather keyword ideas, or all of these suggestions. Now, you're only going to grab the ones that are relevant to what you are writing about. I'm not going to put muffins if it's not muffins. I'm not going to put brownies if it's not brownies. So I'm going to click banana bread recipe. Well, let's just pretend that I clicked banana bread recipe. Sometimes Pinterest is such a pain. Okay, here we go. Clicking banana bread recipe. There you go. Now, the next place that you're going to find additional keywords are going to be these bubbles that show up in the search results underneath the search bar. Now, this section here, where it has this K and it has all this stuff, this is Keywords Everywhere. It is a Chrome extension. There's a blog post that I've linked to in the description of this video you can find the link to this there. Now, this is actually just Google information from my understanding. So we can X out of this. However, it's kind of handy because it's like, oh, cool, I get other keywords, etc. There's a free and a paid version. I'm using the free version. So without that there, if you don't have keywords everywhere, this is what everyone else is going to see. You'll see these keyword bubbles underneath the search bar and above the search results within Pinterest. So this is the second place to gather those keyword ideas, is these bubbles here, right? Banana bread recipe texture, baking diet, best healthy banana bread recipe, super moist banana bread recipe, Starbucks banana bread recipe, etc. Now there's a third place on this page, right? It's all very simple, right? You just type in one word, you get a lot of ideas. There's a third place, and this involves some scrolling. So what you're going to want to do is scroll down the page. Sometimes this happens very quickly, and other times it takes a minute for this to happen. And I'm just crossing my fingers that Pinterest will show up for me today. When you're scrolling like this, Pinterest might start thinking, oh, maybe they're not finding what they need. So it will suggest related searches in the search feed, thinking, okay, well, maybe you're not getting what you need. That's why you're scrolling. And so maybe you need some of these other things. Ah, here it is right here. So related searches, and it will give me other keyword combinations that are related, right? Best banana bread ever, peanut butter banana bread. This is the third place where you can find more keywords for free on Pinterest. So let me give you my other tricks. These are my incognito window tricks. So what I'd like to do is grab one of these banana bread recipes from up on the top, okay? You can do this. I like to do this for the first couple rows within a search result if it's something that I want to rank for. And you can do this on your current pins if you're wondering, okay, so this is steps 4 and 5. Do this on your current pins if you're wondering, are there any keywords that I missed that weren't readily apparent to me? And you can do this on the top pins in any given search so that you can find out, okay, are these, you can find out, are these keywords that I could include in my post, right? What other keywords are they using in these top performers? So I'm just going to open this up. I don't know who this is. And I'm going to grab the link for her pin. It says Montana Happy. I'm assuming it's a woman, but it could be anybody. I'm grabbing this link for their pin, and I'm just going to copy it from the address bar in my browser. Then I'm going to go over here and open a new incognito window. Okay, now I'm incognito. That means that my browsing is protected. You probably Google and find a bunch of stuff about that. I'm going to paste the URL to that pin in the address bar of the incognito window. And now what happens is I get some more information than I had on the pin itself when I was looking at it and I was logged into Pinterest and I was logged into Chrome. So here I've got the breadcrumbs up at the top, and it shows that it's categorized under food and drink. So I'd want to know, okay, cool, that's under food and drink. I could go and look there. I'm going to open that in a new tab and go see what other ideas are in food and drink and see what's trending and get even more ideas from here. I also, and that can tell me too, like if I'm looking at my pin, is it categorized in the right place? Right? So I want to make sure it's categorized in the right place. The other thing that I'm going to look at is these keywords that are underneath. These are the labels Pinterest has assigned to the pin. These labels that are underneath the pin description, and you can actually scroll to see what it's ranking for. So I've got paleo. I don't know if it's paleo or not. We can see if it's doing that. If it says confection or sugar, I would guarantee that's not paleo. So that's interesting. Biscuits, it's not a biscuit. It could be a muffin. It could be a snack. It's a dessert. It's a bread recipe. It kind of like cookies, and it's bananas. So we get to know if Pinterest is nailing it or not with this. And so you can do this on your pins to find out, is Pinterest nailing it or not? What do I need to change to make sure that Pinterest understands what this pin is about and what future pins that go to that destination are about? And on competitors, you can see what are keywords that they rank for that we didn't think about. Like I would not have thought to put dessert with banana bread. I think of it more like a breakfast thing. So that would be a new thing I could put in there. right? I wouldn't have thought to put snacks either. So you can discover new keywords on your own pins to add, and you can find keywords on your competitors' pins to add. So I hope that that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple more details on things and some other questions that I commonly get. So people will ask, well, what about advanced Pinterest SEO? So for advanced users, you could use Pinterest Trends, the Pinterest campaign creation tool, which is used to make ads, and even other more sophisticated tools to help identify more keywords. Now, I cover those advanced techniques in my program, Smart Pin Pro. And if you're interested in that, we start with a free masterclass. You can get to that by going to smartpin.pro/free, FREE. So go start with that over there, and we deep dive into that. What I've given you on this video right now is enough for anybody to get started on Pinterest. And okay, and so really quick, I'm just going to run through the steps again because I just gave you a demo of how to do it. So number one, open Pinterest and go to the home feed. Number two, type your best guess for keywords into the search bar. You could use your Google keywords as a jumping off point. Note the keyword combinations that show up in the autocomplete dropdown, right? Press enter. Then note the keywords that are displayed in any bubbles under the search bar. Some searches don't have the bubbles. That's usually because it's very, very niche down. So you may want to go a level up to get the search bubbles. Scroll down in the feed and note any keywords in the stack of keyword suggestions that are showing under related searches. Identify the pins at the top of search results, and then click on each pin to open it in its own window. Copy the URL from the address bar, and then open a new incognito window in Chrome. Paste the URL for that pin into the address bar in the incognito window, and note the keywords displayed under the pin description and in the breadcrumbs above the pin. Now, in the blog post that I have for this, I have also put screenshots showing each of these steps. And again, remember, you can open any of your existing pins to identify keywords you might have been unaware of, and that Pinterest has assigned the pin so that you can now put those in your content, and you can create more pins specifically targeting those keywords going forward. So a few questions I usually get asked are, can I use the same keywords on Pinterest as I use for Google SEO? So avoiding the same keywords on Pinterest as on Google is a good idea. So use Google keywords as seed words or phrases to begin your research on Pinterest, right? Your blog post and the content at the destination URL should include both Pinterest and Google keywords for a really great experience for your reader. Is there a keyword tool specifically for Pinterest? Not really. There are no true keyword tools. And really, tools aren't necessary. As you saw, we got a lot of data, a lot of information just from doing free things on Pinterest. Some people might want to know, how can I find the search volume for Pinterest keywords? So you can gain insights into search volume for some keywords, not all, on Pinterest by using the campaign creation tool for advertisers on Pinterest. And again, this is an advanced technique that I cover in my program, Smart Pin Pro. And finally, are hashtags the same as keywords? Well, no. Pinterest hashtags might be based on keywords. However, you want to avoid using hashtags to keyword stuff your pin descriptions and titles because it can look spammy and could negatively affect your account. So let me know, what questions do you have? I'd love to know what questions you have. Drop them down in the comments. And back to my story, did I ever find what I was looking for when it came to overhead video? Well, a few years later, I found out that the proper name of the overhead video stand, it was not a unicorn. I learned its name in a conversation with a video pro at a conference. And the stand was called a C stand with boom arm. I never would have found it using my own words, the words that I knew. The film industry at that time, the film industry product sellers were using their own jargon to describe the product. And me as a layperson, I just wouldn't have been able to figure it out. So once I got that overhead shooting rig, I created a home video studio, made over 500 professional videos for myself and brands. And now when you type those words into Google or Pinterest, it shows a wide assortment of C stands with boom arms in the search results. So maybe they learned something about SEO along the way.